in child's pose. Bring your feet together and fold over your legs. Let your head rest gently on the floor and bring your hands by your feet. So you're in this nice little tight ball. We'll take a moment to tune into our breath, to center ourselves. To feel supported by the solid ground beneath us. As we prep for a strong, fun class, I invite you to set an intention for this class. Something you can bring your mind to. Take a breath in and let it go. Now circle your hands out in front of you and lift your head up off the floor. Gaze at your mat. Reach your arms long out in front of you. Tent the fingers of your hands. Nice active stretch here. And press into your hands and roll up into an upward facing dog. Press the floor away. Draw your sternum forward. Lift the crown of your head up. And on your exhale, we'll release down to the ground. Keep your hands where they're at. And we'll press up into a cobra and release down. Moving into little cobra push-ups as we press into our hands. Keep your elbows pointing back. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears and your sternum forward. Feel the heat that you're building right off the start. We'll do one more and release down. Extend your arms long out in front of you, and we'll lift our arms, keeping our gaze down towards the mat, and circle your arms now, palms facing down, and then lift your palms and bring them to your back. Touch your hands together, and we'll circle back around and face your palms facing down. And right when they're about the T position, you lift your palms up and circle them back around. So we'll do this one more time. And now reach your hands out in front of you, thumbs facing up, and we'll draw our elbows back, creating a W with our hands, lifting up slightly in our torso and release down. Draw up and release. One more time, draw up, and now bring your hands behind you. Release down, pinkies now facing up. On your inhale, lift up, locust pose. Lift your feet, lift your torso, squeeze your glutes, press your hips into the floor, and release down. And we'll do this one more time. Inhale, lift up. And release down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and press up into a plank pose. Step your right knee in and your left knee. We're in this little bear hover pose, so engage your core. Knees are just hovering off the ground. And then we'll drop our knees down and untuck your toes. Drop your belly, lift your gaze, and on your exhale, press the floor away, moving through cat-cow. Inhale, breathe in and look up, and on your exhale, press the floor away. One more time. Breathe in and press the floor away. Extend your right leg back. And now draw your knee to your nose, protract your shoulders, compress your core, and extend back. And when you extend back, we don't want to arch our backs. We're not going here. We're keeping a nice stable core. And draw your knee in and extend back. Pelvis is square to the ground. One more time. In and back. I'll bend your knee, and we'll do little tiny pulses up 2 more. Now circle your knee out to the side and bring it down into table and lift up and release down. So think about using your glute medius to lift your leg here. And 1 more. Lift up. Extend your leg out. Plant your foot down. Inhale, rise up. On your exhale, plant your right hand on your leg and reach your left arm up and over. Inhale, rise up. Externally rotate your right leg. Bring your hands to your heart. We'll move into these rocks here, just opening up our hips. So in this class, we have a combination of strength, and stretch, and dynamic movement. And hold here. Place your right hand on the ground. Reach your left arm up and over for modified extended side angle. And inhale, rise up. Place your left hand on the ground. Reach your right arm up. And we're in this modified side plank. I want you to lift up your right leg. Now modified half moon. Take your right leg, bend your right leg, reach your right arm behind you. Grab a hold of your foot. Press your hips forward. And release. Return to this modified half moon. Side plank. Reach up. And plant your hands down, walk your hands out. We're going to come into a puppy pose. Drop your chest. Come up out of this pose a little bit. Tent the fingers of your right hand. Thread your left arm through. This thread the needle gate combo here. And then place your hands on the ground. Lift up your right leg using your glute medius here. We're holding your right leg here. And now circle it back around. Place your right leg on the ground. We're back to that tabletop position. So we're going to do the whole thing on the opposite side. Extend your left leg long, hips square to the ground, core is engaged here. Then draw your knee to your nose, protract your shoulders, extend back out while keeping that core stable. Do not arch your back there, and compress. Extend. And we'll do 1 more. And keep it extended. Pelvis is square to the ground. Bend your knee. Use your glute to pulse up here. Core is engaged, so we're not like arching our back here. Nice stable core as we pulse our leg. Little tiny pulses, you can feel that, right? And now circle your leg out to the side. Keep your leg bent, and then we'll come in to our fire hydrant. So we're using our glute medius to pull our leg up. And 1 more. Extend your leg out. Plant it on the ground, toes facing forward. Inhale, reach up. On your exhale, plant your left hand on your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over. Inhale, rise up. Externally rotate your left leg. Bring your hands to your heart. And let's move into those knee rocks on the opposite side. So just go to your first point of resistance and then come out of it. Just opening up our hips here. And now pause here. Plant your left hand on the ground. Reach your right arm up and over. Inhale, rise up, plant your right hand on the ground. We'll come into modified side plank, left hand up, and then we'll lift our left leg up, modified half moon. Bend your left leg, take your left arm, grab onto your left foot, and press your hips forward. And release this pose. Return to your starting position here with your leg out. We'll plant our hands down, walk your hands out, come into a puppy pose. Drop your chest, just breathe into it. Don't force this position. Just let your body go wherever it's gonna go. Now tent the fingers of your left hand, thread your right arm through or thread the needle. Shift your body over to the right so you can feel your shoulder blades open up here. Nice stretch in your back. And plant your left hand down and your right hand return to this table position, and then lift up your left leg. Pause. Ooh, that's hard. Circle back around. Square off your hips and plant your knee down. Let's just move through a little dancing lions here. So circle your shoulders over your wrists. And then switch sides. And come to center. I came in with a little roll, but we want to get there. Tuck your toes, place your hands just out in front of where they are. Lift your seat, press your seat to the back of the room. So we're coming into our turbo dog. Press the floor away, feel beautiful stretch in your back. And now drop your heels. And we'll just hang out here in down dog for a moment as we pedal out our feet before we come into our next section of building heat. Maybe lift your heels up, drop your heels to the left, sink into that, and lift up and switch sides and return to center. We'll shift our weight forward to plank pose. Now shift your weight back, ground your left hand down and touch your right leg. As we shift our weight forward back to plank, drive your left knee to your right elbow. Pause here, compress your core. Drop your right heel, come into a hovering fallen triangle. Place your left hand or right hand on the ground, and we'll shift over to side plank on the opposite side. Lift your left arm, left knee is bent. Lift up your lower obliques. Plant your left hand down. Keep your knee in, compress your core here. Working our core, right? And tuck, flex your left foot, place your left toes on the ground. Drive into your left foot as you draw your right knee to your nose and back. Draw in. One more time. Draw in and back. Place your left knee on the ground, and we'll bend our arms coming into a tricep push-up or like a kind of modified triangle as we lift our back leg. Shift down. One more. Plant your right foot, step your left foot back, plank pose. Shift your weight back, downward facing dog. Shift your weight forward, plank pose. Shift your weight back, left hand touches right leg. Shift your weight forward, plank pose. Drive your right knee to your left elbow. Pause here. Press into your right hand, come into a hovering fallen triangle. Place your left hand on the ground. Come into a side plank. It's a little tricky, a little wobbly on the side. It's all good. Place your right hand on the ground. Draw your right knee to your chest. Compress your core. Flex your right foot. Place your right toes on the ground. Drive into your right foot. Bring your left knee to your nose and back. Drive up And one more time, drive up and back. Ground your right knee down and moving into our push-ups on this side. Keep your pelvis square to the floor, elbows pointing back. We have one more. Plant your left foot and step your right foot back. Shift your way back to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and out. Ground your right foot down. On your next inhale, sweep your left foot up, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open up your hip, draw your left foot to your seat, scorpion. You can feel a nice stretch in your quad as you draw your foot closer to your seat. Now, square off your hips, bring your knee to your nose, plant your foot, drop your back knee. Inhale, rise up, low lunge. Just let your body sink into this pose for a moment. Enjoy the break. And we'll shift our seat back and come into runner stretch. So flex your left foot, asymmetrically drag it towards the back of the room. Lead with your chest. Ground your hands down. Contract your quadricep. And now just release that contraction. Just let your body kind of fall into this pose here. And we'll come onto our fingertips here and lift out of the pose slightly. So we're going to lift our leg up. So we'll lift and lower. Lift, lower. It's so much harder than it looks. Lift and lower. Shift forward, low lunge. And then shift back, runner stretch. More back to this dynamic movement. Just let your body go where it's going to go. And on this one, we'll pause in our runner stretch. Ground your hands down, tuck your back toes, and press into your back leg. So we're in a very wide pyramid stance. Our left foot is still elevated off the floor. And we're going to just rock, we'll bump our back foot in just slightly, and we'll move through these rocks here. And now shift your weight forward to your front foot. Bump your left foot back or up. Bump your right foot up. So we're in this pyramid pose. A true pyramid here. Tuck your left hip back. Lead with your chest. Just breathe here. Now we'll walk our hands forward. And keep your pelvis square. We're going to go into these dynamic kicks. So kick your leg up, using your glute to kick your leg up. One more. Pause here. Bring your hands to your heart. Slight bend in your standing leg and moving through warrior three to a stork pose. Externally rotate your foot and come into this figure four chair pose. Just pause. Sit your gaze. Inhale, rise up, stork. Step your right foot back, crescent lunge. Lift your back heel. Drop your hips, stack your shoulders. And open up to warrior two. So the heel of your front foot lines up with the arch of your back, really sinking into our warrior here. And then we'll inhale, rise up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, rise. And fall. Reach. And this time we'll hold our warrior. Gaze out over your left hand. And circle your hands back around, square off your hips. Come into your crescent lunge. Press into your left foot, moving into a warrior three. Now hug your belly in and think of a straight line from the crown of your head to the tips of your feet as you fold forward. So think of like a seesaw kind of, right? Once your hands hit the ground, your leg is up, bring your right hand out, hug your belly in, come into a standing split. You can hold on to your left leg. Now from here, I want you to use all those glute muscles we used at the beginning of the class and see if you can pull your leg up even a little bit farther. And now release down, drop your foot down, come into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Release down. And rise up. Bring your hands through prayer and just by your side, palms facing forward, and take a moment and close your eyes. Ground down. Notice how one side of your body feels so different than the other. Blanket, open your eyes. Reach your hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, step back to plank pose, and shift your weight back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet to hips with distance, or not hips with distance, a little bit closer than hips with distance. So press your hands away, lift your seat. Ground your left foot down. Inhale, sweep your right leg up. Bring your knee to your nose. Plant your foot. Drop your back knee. Rise up, low lunge. Sink your hips forward. And then we'll shift our weight back. Flex your right foot. Lead with your chest. Isometrically pull your right foot back. Engage your right quadricep. Ground your hands down. Nice easy breath in this stretch. And then we'll come out of this a little bit, tent the fingers of your hands, and we'll lift our right foot and down. Lift and down. One more, lift up and down. And let's move forward to our low lunge and back to our runner stretch, moving through this dynamic movement. Just let your body go. Don't think too much of the pose. Just let your body be. And then we'll pause in this runner stretch. Release down. Tuck your left toes, tent the fingers of your hands, and come up into this very wide pyramid stance. Bump your back leg up just a little bit, and we'll move through rocks. So we're just rocking back and forth, letting our right foot drop, and then lift, drop, and lift. And this time, place your right foot on the ground, move your hands up, step your left foot up, externally rotate it, tuck your right hip back. So we're in a more traditional pyramid stance. Lead with your chest. Nice, easy breath. Walk your hands up, and we'll come into this like supported warrior three where we're moving into those dynamic kicks, right? So lift your leg up. Use your glute to pull your leg up. And then pause in your warrior three, slight bend in your right leg. Rise up, bring your hands to your chest. Inhale, move through stork. Left knee up. Externally rotate your left leg. Come into chair. Bring your hands to your heart and sink down. Set your gaze. Engage your core. Inhale, rise up. Step your left foot back into crescent lunge. Lift your back heel. Square off your hips. Stack your shoulders. And now let's open up to warrior two. Inhale, reach up, straighten your front leg. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink down. Reach up, rise up, and sink into your warrior. Pause here. Circle your left arm down and around. Return to your crescent lunge. Blast onto your right foot for warrior three. And we're moving through warrior three to standing split. So hug your belly in, hinge at your hip, fold, fold, fold here. Think straight line from tip of head to toes. Bring your left hand out, take your right hand, hold onto your leg. Open up your hip and then use your glute to pull your leg up even more. And on your exhale, release your foot down. And we will just shake out here. Walk your feet out. Externally rotate your feet. And let's come into a yogi squat. Bring your hands to your heart. Internally rotate your left arm. Take your right arm and wrap it around. See if you can grab onto your hands for a little bind. And return to center. And then we'll switch sides. And return to center. Breath in and out. Plant your hands, lift your seat, walk your feet back in. We'll step back to a downward facing dog and just pedal out. Inhale, sweep your right leg up. Bring your knee to your outside of your right hand. Walk your left leg back. Coming into a pyramid pose, or not pyramid, pigeon pose. Got my words all mixed up today. And we will sink down into this. So you can rest your hands on your head, or you can take a block and rest your head on a block, like whatever feels good to you today. That's where we're at. Just sink into this pose. Try to get comfy. I'll be here for 2 more breaths. And when you're ready, you can walk your hands back up and return to your down dog. And we'll just simply switch sides. So ground your right foot down, sweep your left leg up, bring your left leg out to the side, walk your right leg back, and sink into your pigeon on your opposite side. 2 more breaths. And we'll walk our hands up and drop your hips over to the side. Swing your leg around here. And we're going to come into a boat pose. Your legs can be bent here. So we're going to drop down and tap our foot and lift. Tap and lift. As we compress our core with each drive towards our chest. One more each side, and release down to your hollow body. Hold shoulder blades off the ground, feet off the ground. Feel the shakes, and release down. Place your feet on the ground, hips width distance. Take your hands and you can brush your heels here. Press into your feet, lift your seat, squeeze your glutes. You can take a bind by underneath your torso and lifting up, opening up your heart to the back of the room. And release down. Reach your legs up to the sky here. And your hands will drop our left leg and our right arm, keeping your lower back on the ground. And reach up, and then we'll just switch sides. And up one more on each side. Now bend your legs, take your feet, and come into a happy baby. So you can just rock back and forth. Bring your attention back to your breath here. Extend your right leg and bend. Extend your left leg and bend. And bring your knees to your chest. Extend your legs up, cross your right leg over your left, hold onto your ankles, draw your knees in. And reach up and we'll switch sides. And reach your legs up. Hug your right knee to your chest. Cross it over your left side body. Circle your right arm up and around, gaze at your hand. You can stay here or bend your left leg. Hold on to your left leg and take your left arm and straighten your right leg and grab onto your foot. So we're in your cat chasing tail position. Getting a nice deep stretch here. And we'll release the spine and switch sides. Lengthen your right leg. Hug your left knee to your chest. Cross it over your right side body. Circle your left arm up and around. Gaze at your left hand. Bend your option to bend your right leg and take a hold of your left foot. Release the spine. Return to center. Extend your legs up, palms facing up. Flex your feet. Tuck your shoulder blades under. Breathe in and side out. And bend your knees and let Extend your legs long. Let your feet just fall out to the side. Tuck your shoulder blades under. Take a breath in. Side out. Shavasana. We'll start to bring awareness back to our body. Wiggle our fingers and toes. Circle our wrists. Reach our arms up long overhead. Let your torso arch up off the ground. And bend your knees. Come onto your right side body. Press into your left hand. Come to a tall seat. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath in, and together we'll bow. Thank you for practicing with me today.